such an asshole.
Hey, Cappy, Merry Christmas. It's been a while since I threw some money your way, so I figured now would be as good a time as any to do so. We last spoke when I was asking about buying a house and a place. Hey, I know where that house is. I know that place. That's where you do that thing, right? As a person. I didn't live so that I could work towards paying it off while serving the military and have it paid off by the time I retired 20 years. You threw out the alternative idea of maybe buying some land because they ain't making any more of it. It's been several years now, and I'd like your opinion on a career decision I have to make soon. While I haven't bought any land or a house anywhere since then, I've become rather fed up with the military. For the record, this isn't because of any kind of woke DEI policy or any political reason that you hear people complain about typically. I'm annoyed because of this new obsession with trying to run the military like a business because it isn't one. Long story short, my job was combined with another, as were many other jobs, in the hopes of making people multi-capable. Big buzzword right now is saving the military money, as if they really cared about that. In reality, what it has done is taken experts in important fields and turned them into jack-offs of all trades, masters of none. In exchange for dealing with this BS, we're rewarded with a quarter of the promotion rate as other similar career fields who would promote into the same positions. I'm over the 10-year hump now, and active duty is just looking like a never-ending hill to climb with no downhill in sight. By all means, I could stick it out and just survive another 9 years and just be disgruntled, but disgruntled with a pension and great health insurance for the rest of my life. But recently, an alternative was brought to my attention. The National Guard will hire me for a night's bonus for part-time work for 6 years. Thanks to the principles learned from Bachelor Pad Economics and Mr. Money Mustache, my net worth is over 400,000 at this point. And if I opt to save a bunch of cash for the next year and a half before my active duty contract ends, I could live on a mixture of that and short work trip and deployment income from the Guard. I do this for the 9 years I would have otherwise served in active duty while still keeping the great health insurance and other benefits. After 20 total years between active and Guard service, I would opt to retire or continue serving minimum obligation, 38 days a year, for much longer than I would have wanted to stay active, but begin withdrawing 4% a year from my nest egg at 39. Still live the good fire life and eventually get a pension, albeit a smaller one, that I'd get from active duty at age 60 to ensure sustainability. Sorry if I went a little long. That's right, I charge. Just want to ensure I included the important part. You did. And a backstory and the details, pros and cons. Let me know if you like any other info. And I asked you a question. I said, does this new multidisciplinary military take more time per week to do? Also, do you want a family or have one? Nothing officially requires me to work more time than I otherwise would have before the job merger, but I'm in a position where I'm in charge of 20 to 30 people. We're all supposed to be learning this new job, and I've lost all my experienced people that would have been able to teach me. So while this doesn't lead to more hours at work per se, it leads to a lot of stress of people not being able to solve things. Then the people that I answer look to me for answers, even though I myself am also learning. It's a lot of blind leading the blind. Don't get me wrong. The military isn't necessarily too much different than other government work, and that I could always just stop giving a shit and coast while offering mediocre effort for my final 9 years. It doesn't take any more time, you say. As long as you put in some effort, you won't get fired. But I'm not really wired that way. I just fear that remaining active won't be worth the stress when I could take a step back and be a part timer in the Guard and have more control over how much I work each year. I like this paragraph to me. Okay, so you go other ancillary benefits that come with joining the Guard and ditching full time. Single. Would like to have at least a long-term partner with one kid at the most. But you don't have that now. But life is still pretty good even without these things. Not to make this a how do I get the girls a request, but to be honest, I'm just not very active in the dating world. But yeah, you're working. I haven't had a relationship over 10 years now. I just don't care to play the game of selling myself to someone who may be playing even more game. Dude, I'm not even in the market. I'm like, that looks exhausting. I just like, it's like watching someone catch a line drive to the nuts on third base. You're just like, ooh, Fuck that shit. But not a 10. I okay, don't worry about the at any look at any if, when the girls want to have relationships, they'll have relationships. I really do believe just leave that in their court right now. You don't have the time to be pulling teeth. All right, here's what I'm going to recommend. I can't tell for you which to do. What I can do is have you conduct an experiment that will help you make the decision as to whether or not to ditch full time and go guard. In my book, How Not to Become a Millennial. Yes, this one again, because people keep asking it. It's in the career chapter. And I tell the story of where I was a senior analyst, senior commercial underwriter, mid ranked, knocking on management's door type of position. And I did the commercial loans. I was so good at my job, and not just me, my bosses are so inept and stupid and slow that I'd have my work done in about 2 to 3 hours. I do mean that to all of you I worked with. You were dumb and slow, or at least dumber and slower than me, which is pretty I can understand that. I wish I was being arrogant. They were just that dumb, and I'm just that smart. Everyone suck a dick. All right. Anyway, moving on. I got it down to 2 to 3 hours a day. And I just sat there. And so I would brush and floss my teeth a lot. I'd go for walks. I'd pay bills. I mean, all the petty little back office shit that you got to do. And even then, all right, it's 2 in the afternoon. What am I going to do? So I ended up saying, well, you got anything to do? Like, really, is there anything? So I ended up becoming a clerical worker. I do faxing. I do filing, like back when I was an intern. Just low end, low IQ, entry level, 8th grade skill horseshit. And it dawned on me, this is, God, come up on 20 years ago. I was making 65 grand a year. That's a pretty good wage back in those days. It dawned on me, it didn't matter if I was actually doing my analysis and underwriting, like the job I trained for, or whether I was scanning in documents. I was getting paid the same, what is it, $37.50 an hour? Basically my hourly rate. And it didn't matter what I did. It was the fact that every day I was giving them 8 hours of my time and I was never getting that time back. Don't worry about how demeaning the job is. Don't worry about, is this, ignore stress for a moment. And that's why I ask you, does it take you any more time working? And you said no. So at the end of the day, the math is still the same. You're giving them, I presume, 8 hours a day. You get paid the same. And it's really a battle of the wills to not let stress, stupidity, whatever affect you. But can you achieve that level of zen? And once I realized that nowhere in the finance banking world is someone going to be fully utilized to their capacity, especially in banking, and that there's just going to be the majority of your time is either going to be sitting there looking busy or doing something. It didn't matter because I was still getting my same $37.50. So I ignored the stupid me. And once I got that zen, it was kind of liberating. What, we got a meeting? We're going to listen to a bunch of fat, pasty bankers talk about bullshit that has no. All right, let's go. I'm here for 8 hours. I get my work done. Yeah, let's go. What we got to go to some kind of like event where I gotta, I don't know, help with the poor or something that never happened, but I'm giving you an example. Cool. We're gonna go and watch paint dry. Fine. Am I getting paid? Okay. I try to do that for a week because if you're not going to lose your job and you don't worry about the stress and oh my God, there's this complaint. Yep, yeah, it's a complaint. It's the same time no matter what. If you can remove yourself from those annoyances, if you can understand it's just the money for the time transaction, does that make your full-time job in the military easier and doable for the next 9 years? And that I can't tell. Because I'll tell you this, if you can't, like it still annoys you, then go with the guard. And I recommend the guard because you listed a bunch of ancillary stuff and that comes with the guard, and you're a minimalist and you ain't got no kids. You got 400 grand in your account. You're going to get the health insurance, which is the main thing, long-term planning, maybe get a little bit less of a pension. But if you're talking fire, you guys, you spend such little money. I'm not worried about that. So for you, it really would be an issue of freedom and not being bothered as much at work. But, and this is only you're going to be able to tell, but can you go in for a week and let go and zen out? Still do your job. I'm not saying it's still, answer questions and all that, but not let it bother you as much. And I think with that, you'd be able to say, okay, I zenned out, and even still, it's still a pain in the ass. Or I tried to zen out and I couldn't do it, and it's still driving me fucking nuts. Yeah, dude, this is one of the benefits of not having kids or a wife or liabilities. You get to do what you want. And so if you think you'd be happier at the guard for what seems to be a pretty minor sacrifice in a future pension, I'd do it. I would totally go for the guard. You may say, oh, yeah, I zenned out, but I don't need to do this. I figured out this skill. I can zen out. And yeah, I could stick around another 9 years full time, but fuck, I don't want to do that. I want to go in the guard and do things a little. I want to have the freedom to go have more fun. You could do that. The sake of retirement strategies like FIRE or minimalism or whatever else is not to, I saved the most amount of money and spent the least and can retire the earliest. No, it's for freedom and having fun, right? I don't have kids, right? Never wanted them. That's a lot of freedom. Well, you think I sit on my hand? Well, what would it be like to have? I'm like, nope, I'm fucking hiking. Gonna go to the coffee store, sit and relax. Oh boy, I'm kind of running out. I do want to get into boxing. I gotta finish the book, do the taxes, and get into boxing. But yeah, go live life, man. That's what you're here for. And you've earned it. Go if for any other reason to counter the lazy Democrat leftist filth who just sit on welfare and but don't do anything with their lives, even though everybody's paying for them. Go live, go work the guard. Then you got what? Bunch of free time left over. Maybe you could pick up another little hobby, little side business or something. Raise ferrets, whatever it is you want to do, go do it. But yeah, try that mental experiment for a week, see where that puts you. But if you had, Aaron, I would do the guard because you have 400K at a young age. You're good to go, man. And the guard would still maintain the majority of your benefits. All right, let's go to super chats. Elon Musk's filthy jockstrap, $2. Just say it. You'll be broken either way. What, for the guy in the military? He's not going to be broken. I don't think so. A lot of times you choose to be broken. Or you're broken and you're like, okay, but it's not going to affect me. Elon Musk, $2. What is this guy's military job in general? I can't say he didn't want me to say. It's a real job. Let's put it that way. He's not an officer. Hi, kid. That's just a hat tip to you, enlisted gentlemen. Sir, I'm not an officer. I work for a living. All right, that's it. Take a look at that. How Not to Become a Millennial. It's on Amazon. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.